Hey, I'm AJ. I am a substance abuse counselor for Mental Health Systems Recovery Service Program. I am going on 8 years sober, and this is my story. My life before recovery was kind of innocent at first. Like I was 16 years old when I first did cocaine, and it was with family. It was fun. It wasn't. I never thought of the danger. I never thought of what it would lead me down. And so, if you really want to get technical about it, my first addiction was food. I was really overweight. I was about 400 pounds by the age of 19. And so, when I decided to do this gastric bypass, the surgery, it took away my first love. And so that's when I started delving into addiction full throttle, doing cocaine to heroin to meth. And that's the one that got me, meth. But then I started to do things that would not be me. I lost all this weight. I started to be aggressive, angry, paranoid. It started to turn miserable. And because I did live kind of a reckless life, at that time I would steal, I would cheat, I would lie, I would do anything that I can to make sure that I had my next high. But then somehow I went to a rehab and I got off of that. And then when I got off of that, I thought, okay, why not drink? Out of all the drugs that I've done, I was still able to go to work on heroin, I was still able to go to work on meth. But when I found alcohol, that thing completely disabled me. I couldn't go to work, I couldn't function. That thing took away my life. By the end of my addiction, towards the end of my addiction, I was literally living on the street for about 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know exactly what happened during those 2 to 3 years. It's a blur even to this day. But then, that's when I started to go into the life into recovery. I'm officially sober now from alcohol, a total of 8 years now. And the first 2 years was bumpy. I would what you call a dry drunk. I did everything to stay away from drinking and using and everything else, but I wasn't really getting involved. Like I went to the NAs, I went to the AAs, but I wasn't really picking up a sponsor or attending anything outside of that meeting. But then I met my wife, and she's sober. She's not, she would what we call a normie, never delved in that kind of life, never drank, never did drugs, and she was just an all-around complete good girl. And I'm thinking, how in the heck did I end up with one of these? And so she encouraged me. I never finished school, I never finished anything, and she made me realize that life was so much important to live for. And so when I found her, it started to change my life around. She made me feel worth living, and I married her. And since the last 6-7 years of my life with her, she has not seen an addict. She hasn't seen a person drunk. She hasn't seen me drunk, nor high, nor anything. She encouraged me to go to school, and encouraged me to say, hey, you know, there's other people out there that are suffering just like me. And so I went to school for that. So now I work as a full-time substance abuse counselor, trying to help people that were as lost or that are suffering just like me. One of the things that stopped me so long from getting, I guess, sober was that I've done so much wrong in my life that nobody will accept me to be this normal guy. Or I've done so much wrong in my life that there's no way I could become this good person. It's become this revolving thought, and this is so far from the truth. Our past does not define us. Our past doesn't make us what we think we are today. If we learn anything, it's to learn to love ourselves, and love the people that are trying to help us. So if there's any advice that I can give to anybody that's suffering from life of addiction, is to don't give up, to keep seeking, to keep trying. And the moment you fall, get right back up. I know it's easier said than done. But there's a saying, I think I heard it from a movie once. Why do we fall? So we learn to pick ourselves up. So keep learning to pick yourself up.